What if I told you that one of the greatest football clubs in history, Manchester United, was once saved by a dog?
Unusual little story which should have something in it for everyone. A bit of football, a cuddly St. Bernard dog, a lonely little girl.
Sounds crazy, doesn't it? A struggling football team, a financial crisis, and a stray dog walk into the same store. This isn't just some fairy tale. It's a true, unbelievable event that changed the fate of Manchester United forever. Let's unravel this bizarre tale of how an unexpected hero stepped in to save the day. It was the early 1930s, and Manchester United was in chaos. The club wasn't the global powerhouse we know today. Back then, it was on the brink of bankruptcy. The financial strain was suffocating, with mounting debts and dwindling support. Fans were losing hope, and even the players and staff felt the weight of an inevitable collapse. The survival of Manchester United seemed impossible. At the heart of this crisis was James Gibson, a local businessman and a die-hard football enthusiast. When he stepped in as chairman, he found himself facing an uphill battle. Gibson was determined to rescue Manchester United, but the odds were stacked against him. The club needed a miracle, and fast. Gibson organized a series of community fundraising events to gather the resources needed to keep the club alive. One such event was held at a local community hall. Fans, supporters, and some players gathered in an attempt to rally around the club and raise much-needed funds. But despite the efforts, the turnout was disappointing. The donations trickled in slowly, and it became clear that the event wasn't going to bring in the amount required to make a real difference. Then, something extraordinary happened. In the middle of the event, as the mood in the room began to sink, a stray dog wandered in. At first, it was seen as nothing more than an annoyance. A few people tried to chase it out, but the dog stubbornly stayed. It wandered between the tables, wagging its tail and catching the attention of the attendees. People began to chuckle as the dog seemed completely unfazed by the tension in the room. One of the event organizers saw an opportunity. Why not use the dog as entertainment, they suggested. The idea seemed silly at first, but with spirits low, they decided to give it a shot. A group of volunteers quickly began teaching the dog a few simple tricks: sitting, shaking hands, and even jumping through a makeshift hoop. Before we move on to the next part, make sure to hit the subscribe button to help us keep bringing you more great content like this. Back to it. The dog performed with surprising enthusiasm, and the room began to come alive. Laughter and cheers filled the hall as the dog captivated the crowd. It wasn't just the tricks, it was the joy and lightheartedness the dog brought to an otherwise somber occasion. The atmosphere shifted completely, and soon people were reaching into their pockets to donate. The dog had become the star of the night, turning what had started as a lackluster event into a surprising success. By the end of the night, the donations had far exceeded expectations. The money raised wasn't enough to completely solve Manchester United's financial woes, but it was a lifeline. It gave James Gibson and his team the breathing room they desperately needed to stabilize the club, pay off some debts, and keep operations running a little longer.
Need a 3-goal margin today for an overall victory. From the start, the crowds are treated to a sparkling display of football.
The stray dog, affectionately nicknamed United's Savior, became something of a local legend. Fans and players alike saw it as a symbol of hope and resilience. Stories about the dog spread, and it wasn't long before people began associating its unexpected heroism with a change in the club's fortunes. Over the next few years, Gibson worked tirelessly to rebuild Manchester United. The funds raised during that event, combined with his determination and strategic thinking, helped turn the club's fortunes around. Manchester United not only survived, but eventually thrived, becoming one of the most successful and beloved football clubs in the world. It's hard to imagine that such a small, random event, a stray dog walking into a charity event, could have such a profound impact. But sometimes, it's the most unexpected moments that shape history. This story isn't just about a dog, or even about Manchester United. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope can come from the unlikeliest of places. So, what do you think? Is this one of the strangest and most inspiring stories in football history? Do you know of any other tales where luck or chance played such a big role? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more fascinating football tales. Until next time, remember to always expect the unexpected and keep loving the beautiful game.